Hey, this is the Victors Nation podcast. We are back, baby, live on YouTube and the first time ever on X Twitter. Derek, Dre, and myself to bring you the latest and greatest content involving Michigan athletics. What's up, guys?
What's going on, nation? Glad to be back,
What's
baby.
up?
Season 2 of the Victors Nation podcast. Season 1 of the Victors Nation podcast ended in a national championship. So I feel like
Weird coincidence.
After
Weird.
years, I feel like we were the good luck charms.
Yeah.
Ohio State fans, Michigan State fans, they're going to say it was because of Connor Stallions. I think probably because of us.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure they're going to want to give us the hammer. Yeah.
Connor ain't had nothing to do with our success. I'm sorry. I mean, nothing. You know what I'm saying? So if they want to add that to it and feel like that he had something to do with it, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I don't think he had not a thing to do with it.
Yeah, so it's just justifying yourself, basically. Like, really, I don't know how those fans like live their personal lives, but if something bad happens, like they must just go cry in a corner. It's just kind of sad, basically, but pathetic.
They do.
Hey, but I have started a GoFundMe to find out who Mr. Brohio is. So we're gonna find out who you are. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna find out who you are.
I think it's Pete. I think it's Pete.
I don't know who it is, man, but
Pete Thamel.
I think that's the most cowardice thing to do. You come on a documentary and hide your face. Like, come on, man. Because of the death threats, and you know what I'm saying? Because of the death threats, but Connor Stallions was getting them too. So, you know, like what?
Yeah, you know, I think at some point in time we'll probably dive into the Connor Stallions documentary. Maybe give it another week or two. That way we're not completely spoiling it for anyone that hasn't seen it yet. If you haven't watched it in the next week or two, then it's on you when we talk about it to have certain things spoiled. But what we're gonna talk about tonight is the most exciting time of year. Right, like Dre, I think you posted on the Facebook page. It's like we're kids on Christmas morning right now. Football season is here, and we are now
here, man.
We are now officially entering the Sherrone Moore era. We finished the Jim Harbaugh era with a national championship. Jim Harbaugh went to the NFL because the NCAA was on his ass and wasn't going to get off of it. And now here we are with the Sherrone Moore era. But here's the thing. Sherrone Moore's already won games for us as a head coach. He's already won big games for us as a head coach. He's already beat Ohio State. He's already beat Penn State. But we are entering the 2024 football season. And one last thank you to the Jim Harbaugh era. The Los Angeles Chargers are now my second favorite team in the NFL behind the 49ers. And now Sherrone Moore, let's keep the momentum going. 2024 football season. Let's go. Let's go for the 4-peat in the Big Ten. And let's go back to back with the Natty here. But let's talk about this. Let's take a look at this season. So we're going to do more than just talk about the Fresno State game because a lot of people, we're recording this here on Thursday night. There's probably going to be a lot of people that end up listening to the podcast after Saturday, right? So that's game one, but we're going to talk about the entire season and what our expectations are, because a lot of things that we talk about might not even shake themselves out till once we get into the season or until we get to week 2, which is Texas. But let's start with some expectations that we have for the team. So as we look at this year compared to last year, we had a lot of turnover. So let's look at the offensive side of the ball first here. Right, so I'm going to give you some names. Drake Nugent, Zach Zinter, Trevor Keegan, Ladarius Henderson, Trenty Jones, Carson Barnhart, Cornelius Johnson, Roman Wilson, A.J. Barner, J.J. McCarthy, Blake Corum. Those are all guys from last year's national championship offense that are no longer on the team this year, right? So what are our expectations on offense with that type of turnover from last year's national championship team to this year's team? Jason, I'll start with you. What are your expectations? What do you expect to see out of our offense? Who are some players you're excited about?
So I think we still have a hell of a running back room. Probably better than last year's too, with some replaying players with Mullins, Edwards. But you're going to add in Paul, Kavanaugh, and you can't forget about Jordan Marshall too. So we are going to be stacked in that room. So obviously you're going to expect teams to stack the box against us because just segue into the quarterback. Not sure who the starter is. Orgy, we heard rumblings a little bit ago that it might be Davis Warren as well too. Are we going to be able to consistently pass the ball? I think that's probably my biggest concern. I'm excited about our offensive line. I think we're going to be just as good. Like I said, running backs going to be stacked in that room over there. And then receivers. We're still going to be good at that position as well too. So I don't really have as far as an expectation goes, I still think we're going to be able to run the ball. I still think we're going to play Michigan football. I still think we're going to do very good at that type of game. It's just the passing, right? What's going to come out of these quarterbacks? So that's my biggest interest going into not just week one, but consistently throughout the rest of 2024.
Yeah. Dre, what about you? What are your thoughts here as we look on the offense side of the ball? A lot of big names gone, a lot of people that are hard to replace gone. What are your expectations out of the offense this year?
I think we're still going to run the ball. We're going to be a run heavy team. I think Alex is going to. I think Samaj Morgan is going to have. We're going to have a big year. I think we're going to Cedric Moore. Going to be the run game. But I just, like I said, I'm want to see how Alex or
Dre, you muted yourself here, or your computer muted you, one of the two. There you go.
My bad.
You went on.
I had my mic muted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm only concerned about quarterback.
Concerned about quarterback. So you're cutting in and out there a little bit, but you were talking about some of the receivers. You were talking about Samaj Morgan. You were talking about Frederick Moore a little bit in there as well. And quarterback is probably the biggest question on offense, right? I know there's going to be a lot of people that look to our offense and say that we lost too many players. That what does our starting offensive line look like? How do you replace someone like Blake Corum? And I think that the position that we've probably reloaded at the most is probably offensive line. So my concern on the offensive line is pretty non-existent. I think for the most part, we're probably going to be 8 deep again, at least on the offensive line. And I think our offensive line is going to be back to being the bullies of the Big Ten. I think that we're going to be back to pushing people around and playing a brand of football that nobody else in the Big Ten is built to play with our offensive line. So I don't have any concerns about our offensive line. We've got a lot of question marks at receiver. Right. We have to replace Roman Wilson and Cornelius Johnson, who Cornelius didn't get all the love Roman got, but Cornelius was on the field almost every single offensive play because he knew what he was supposed to do. He knew where he was supposed to be. He knew what his alignment, he knew his assignment, he knew his role on that offense. Right. So I'm excited to see. I think we're actually going to have a pretty athletic receiving core that surprises people. Samaj Morgan, I've heard only good things about how electric he looks with the ball in his hands this year during camp. I've heard comparisons to Rondale Moore for what he's doing out there. Tyler Morris, I think, is going to be a stud. I think he's going to be that Ronnie Bell type receiver that's just consistently the one that catches the ball on third down. I think Frederick Moore is going to step up and take that X receiver role and run with it. And I think Marion Walker, don't be surprised if he has a role. Don't be surprised if Kendrick Bell, right? I think that the name that we might end up being surprised by the most is a name we shouldn't be because he's a Bell. But
I agree
Kendrick Bell.
with him. Agreed.
I agree with that too. I agree 100%.
And we talked about some of this stuff might shake itself out. Right. The QB is the question because we just haven't seen it yet. Right. But here's the thing. Michigan's going to continue to play the same brand of football that they've played the last 3 years that have netted them 3 Big Ten championships. Right. And that have netted them 1 national championship. JJ McCarthy was the starter for 2 of them. Right. But Cade McNamara got us there for one of them. So just think about this, right? We're the bar right now coming off of last year is what JJ McCarthy was able to do as our quarterback, and just the comfort that we had. That as Michigan fans, we haven't had that comfort of trusting that if we're down and we need a big drive, our quarterback's going to lead the drive in a while, and we had that with JJ, right? But just think Alex Orji or Davis Warren, whoever ends up being QB1. At the end of the season, they don't need to be JJ. If they come in and they do what Cade McNamara did, if they do what Shea Patterson did minus some of the turnovers, right? If they can come in and do the basic fundamentals of protect the football, don't make mistakes, let the rest of our team help win the game. That's Michigan's football. They play bully ball. They're gonna, if it's 3rd and 3, they're running the football. That's their style of football. That's what they're gonna be doing. And if they settle for a punt, then they're putting that big nasty defense out on the field, and they're saying, "Hey, come, we're gonna pin you deep, and good luck, right?"
Yep.
And I'll give us a short field after this 3 and out, and now we're gonna keep going like we would have just converted that 3rd down. And that's the style of football that Michigan's offense is gonna play. And if Orji or Davis Warren can come in and do that and not turn the ball over and just run the system, they don't need to be JJ. I think they'll exceed what Cade did. Either one of them.
That's a good point.
And then running the ball. So Jason, you were touching on the running backs a little bit, right? I'm jacked for Clell Mullins. I think that Donovan Edwards is he's our stud, right? Donovan Edwards has potential to be the highest drafted running back in the draft next year, right? He's got that big play, home run type potential that every time he touches the ball could be a touchdown. But I think Clell Mullins, I think that we're going to think we're watching Hassan Haskins when we're watching him this year. I think he's going to be that Mr. Consistent, that you give him the ball and tell him you need 3 yards, he's getting 5. Right? You do that with Donovan. Donovan might get 2 sometimes, and he might get 70 sometimes, right? You give it to Clell Mullins. I think that you give him the ball, you say we need 3 yards, he's getting 5. Right? Okay. And that's what Haskins did. I'm pretty excited for him. I think that he's going to end up being one of the most important pieces of our offense this year.
I know we got Kavanaugh. I know we got Dunlap. I know we got Hall. And Kavanaugh and Hall I'm really excited about too. But I know he's a freshman, but Mr. Ohio, like Jordan Marshall, I feel like we got to play this guy. I feel like we got to play this guy more than what's actually expected. Like the red shirt, whatever. I don't care. I want to see that guy carry the ball. That's who I'm really excited about on this offense this year.
I think it depends. It depends on how our 1-2 punch goes. We might not need nobody else. You know what I'm saying?
We might be benching our starters in the 3rd quarter again, too.
Yeah, I was just about to say it might be garbage time, and you know what I'm saying. Maybe that's when they get in. But I think this year we're gonna take a lot of things more serious than we did last year. Not saying we didn't take it serious because we won a natty, but you know what I mean. I think they're not gonna let Coach Moore fall off or look as it feel. I mean, make it look like we fell off. You know what I'm saying? I think they're gonna work 10 times harder. I think our offensive line is going to be better. I think our play calling is going to be a little more open. Like I think we're going to see more like wide receiver screens and even more screens from Donovan. It's going to look different than what it did last year. Same results, I'm hoping, but it's just going to look a little different. But I don't see us really taking a step backwards. All of this, our whole season just depends on Mr. Orji. If he's a decent, solid quarterback, he don't even gotta be a Heisman candidate. He just gotta be solid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Solid enough to not turn the ball over. If he cannot turn the ball over and keep the ball moving, we'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? Because we got the horses to do it. We got athletes on our team. Go ahead.
This whole like sign stealing crap, like I feel like it plays into the game because there's fan bases and teams that have built culture right now thinking that that's how we won. I want them to keep thinking that.
That's what we want. Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. That's what we want, though.
Because they've built their culture on that type of mindset. You're doing us a favor. Appreciate it a lot. And we can't forget about our tight end group either. Colston Loveland's going to have a big year, I think.
He gonna. Yeah. Hey, I'm telling you this right now. He gonna lead our team in receiving yards and touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Colston Loveland is. I said Donovan Edwards has a chance to be the highest drafted running back next year. I think Colston Loveland.
Speaking of that though, hold on, D. Donovan gonna break that. He gonna break that record too this year. Highest receiving running back.
Yeah.
In Michigan history. He only I want to say probably 65, 70 yards away. So
I mean, Dan, we're talking about quarterbacks. It's like we know Donovan Edwards can throw the ball too.
Right.
Put him back there for a couple of plays.
Yeah,
Fourth and long, love it. Fourth and long, love it.
Sure.
Like that.
I'm telling you, man, we're gonna see a lot of stuff that we never seen before. This year. I just got that feeling.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure. Well, let's talk about the other side of the ball then, right? So I listed off the players that we lost on offense. Not much of a different story when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, right? You've got Josh Wallace, who, by the way, Josh Wallace ended up making the 53-man roster, which was one of my biggest surprises. Mikey Sanders still.
Yes, my man did.
Mike Barrett. Brady
McGregor. Hold on.
Pause.
Why was you surprised that he made it?
That he was one of the guys that I thought to get onto a 53-man roster with he ran poorly at the combine, right? He didn't necessarily have NFL speed. And so I thought he'd be a practice squad guy, right? Like we've got Cornelius, practice squad guy, right? Carson, practice squad guy. Got a lot of players that ended up landing on practice squads. I was surprised that out of some of the guys that landed on practice squads, that Josh Wallace was actually one that ended up on a 53-man roster, right? Brady McGregor.
What was surprising about that? What was surprising about this whole wavering practice squad and cut thing was Mike Barrett got traded, then got cut. I didn't understand it. That's what I didn't understand about that whole situation. I knew Josh was gonna make it. To be honest, I thought he was.
Because
I was surprised that KB got put on a practice squad and Cornelius did too. Though I was surprised about that. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. So you got to think though.
I thought they would have
on these NFL rosters that they only have 53 roster spots to put on the roster, and then it's a practice squad, and most of these rosters are probably filled out by 40 to 45 guys. Right. But before before training camp even starts. There's 45 guys that are locked in, right, in the two deep of offense and defense, right? They're on the team. So now you've got an extra 50-ish, 45, 50 guys trying to compete for those last 10-ish spots on the roster to earn that roster. So sometimes that you make moves like that where you trade for Mike Barrett, and the intention is it's Mike Macdonald. Mike Macdonald's the coach in Seattle, right? Trades for Mike Barrett, not necessarily a guy that he probably knew it right away. I'm trading for him to have him for my practice squad, right? That's probably what it is, because guys get called up off the practice squad. I mean, after week 1, we're gonna have a plethora of injuries across the NFL, right? So you're gonna have a ton of guys that are on practice squads that are getting called up every single week.
Yeah, you're right.
But then
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was just like, dang, he's surprised. But go ahead. No defense.
Jalen Harrell, Braden McGregor, right? A lot of key pieces. Chris Jenkins, Sam Good, right? Or Cam Good. A lot of key pieces of last year's defense, again, no longer on the roster, right? However, I think that our defense is reloaded to be the best defense in college football again this year. But again, there's a lot of turnover from that national championship defense. But Jason, what are your thoughts? What do you expect to see out of our defense this year?
Same thing. Two things I'm really excited about is our secondary. So we got Hill. He's going to be playing. He's got the other job right now. So excited about him to see what he can do. Will Johnson, obviously, is as well, too. But you got a really good secondary right now. I know last year, I don't know if you guys are on the same page, but I was kind of worried about that position group last year. And I'm really not this year at all with the secondary. So
secondary?
Just defensive backs, safeties, that's the group I was worried about a season prior, but this year I'm not. I'm actually really excited about. What I am really, really excited about with this defense is our defensive line. We are freaking loaded on defensive line right now. We got Grant and our edges too. So Grant, Graham, Benny, Moore, Stewart. Good luck running the freaking ball this year against us. It ain't happening. It's going to be the same damn thing again. But then you talk about those backup positions, or you talk about our linebackers. We got Ernest Hausman. You guys, I went John Gruden last year on Hausman. Love him. Love the guy. He is going to be a freaking stud this year, but not just him. We got to talk about Barnum out of camp too. That guy is going to be an absolute, and excuse my language, Ohio State fans, I know you're going to probably accuse me for something, but he's going to be a fucking stud, dude. He's going to be a fucking stud. He is going to be an absolute beast this year for us. So I am so freaking excited for our defense. We are loaded. We might not have the depth we had a year before, but we are loaded in that. Even in the second spot as well too. But we are loaded in that starting crew right now. Even to swap positions as well too. But we're going to be stacked again. We're going to be stacked on defense. Derek, you already talked about it. Dre, you already agree. But we're going to have the best defense again in college football this year. The best defense in college football again this year. And what we learned, like everyone else knows, defense wins championships. But we want to make sure Michigan State and Ohio State fans and the rest of the country know that it was just sign stealing, so they can just play stupid and dumb and think they're just going to walk right through us and that we're down. Jim ran away, right, because of the NCAA. Shut up. You guys are such pusses. It's not even funny. We're going to be wrecking you guys this year the same way we did the last 3 years. So keep that culture up, though, because we love that weakness. We feed off of that. So I appreciate that.
We are back. Season 2.
Mm-hmm. Sheesh. Back in business, baby. Back in business. Sheesh. Love it.
All right.
No bias. I'm talking as a football fan, too. But go ahead, Dre.
Oh, I'm biased. I ain't going to lie to you. It ain't nothing better than Michigan to me. I ain't going to sit here and lie. I'm super biased. But our line is gonna be super scary,
mm-hmm.
right? But the secret weapon is our linebackers. That's the secret weapon.
Yeah. They're quick.
Yes. Now, Jason, you remember a couple years ago we was having this conversation about a guy named Zeke Berry. Remember how excited I was for him to come to the team?
It's his time, dude. It's his time.
Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, he is about to wreak havoc. In the secondary. And this is what I've been trying to tell people for a long time. He might not have been able to play right away because we had some studs in front of him. That's cool. But he here now, and he gonna show y'all why Michigan picked him up. That man is gonna be a blessing for us. Makari Page,
Page,
Will Hill,
Quentin Johnson, dude. Like these teams, like what's their excuse gonna be this year when we wreck them on defense? Because it can't be sign stealing. It cannot be sign stealing. So what's the excuse going to be this year? And you don't have CJ Stroud, Ohio State, so it can't be.
We had a top. I'm gonna say we're gonna have the top 5 defense in the country. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I gotta see how our offense do week 1, and then I gotta see how we do against Texas to see what our offense gonna do. But I'm really not worried, man. I've been sitting back just like, watching everybody how we fell off, and I just want to see everybody. You know what I'm saying? When we start to wreck shop, like I just want to see everybody face down, like, man, because a lot of people don't understand, man. Michigan, I don't think we're about to be going nowhere no time soon, and man, it's just gonna get better every year. I think, I don't think we're going nowhere. And for those that just think about this hammer, we'll talk about that at another episode because I got so much to say about the hammer. So we'll say that for the next episode, like D said. Mm-hmm. But as far as us falling off, man, I think our defense is going to be a little. I ain't gonna say that much better, but I think we're going to be a little better than last year. I think we're going to have more sacks. I think we're going to have more interceptions.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? And that's going to save a lot. But I think I'm telling you, man, people is in trouble. So everybody that's in bed sleeping on us right now, go ahead, get a good nap in. Because we about to wake the world up.
Because we want them to think it's sign stealing, and I think they're going to learn real quick. They're going to get hurt.
To be honest, I don't even think it's about that no more. I think that's more than more of the fans thinking about sign stealing. I think like inside of Michigan, like it's us talking about sign stealing, but in Michigan, I think it's a point. They got a point to prove.
Yeah.
They got a point to prove.
Just another chip on our shoulder. It's just multiple. It's not just defending a national championship. There's other aspects of our game that are going to happen next year that we're going to play really aggressive.
Y'all think because everybody left and the NOA, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, all of that is fuel. Y'all, I don't understand why they didn't learn that last year. They're like that. Y'all really gave us a national championship by doing that dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Bringing all that up.
Do it again.
Like, so, like I said, I just sit back and watch, man, because I just got a feeling, man, it's about to go down. And I think everybody really going to realize it when we beat Texas. That's when everybody going to be like,
they're out. Derek, right. They're out a second running back. But, CJ Baxter's out. For the whole season as well, too. They're starters. So, we'll see what happens. But, I think Ohio State's really good. I think we're going to beat Texas. Ohio State's really going to be shitting themselves.
So,
hey, to be honest, man. Go ahead, Derek. Go ahead.
So when it comes to defense, absolutely right. I think that the beginning of the season is going to be, and then we'll get into these games here in a second.
Just wait, one more guy, no pun intended, TJ Guy.
TJ Guy. Yeah.
I'm excited
shout
about
out
him.
Shout out my boy TJ Guy, baby.
I'm excited about that.
Shout out TJ Guy.
Same.
Sure.
You know, Etta. But you guys are hitting on our defensive line is going to be Studley, right? And every year we've got a backup rotation of defensive linemen that no one really knows much about that comes in. And you're like, holy shit, where'd this guy come from, right? No one expected Kenneth Grant and no one expected Grant and Graham to be what they are, right? And they're the two best defensive linemen in all of college football on the same defensive line, right? And so as you guys talk about the D-line and the linebackers and the secondary, absolutely, right? And don't forget that we brought in some transfers in the secondary too, that we brought in a couple transfer safeties. So we've got some depth now. That was a big question mark coming into this year was what's our depth? But then we've got Wes Walker, Jaden Mangum, who decided to finally come to the good side and leave Michigan State, and Ricky Johnson that have come over, right? So we've got some solid depth and experience in the secondary. But an X factor that we haven't talked about yet is the Wink Martindale effect. I think that from the reports coming out of camp, right, we're looking at the same shell of a defense conceptually, except for the way that they disguise their looks. It sounds like quarterbacks are going to have a hell of a time figuring out what the hell is going on the field. It sounds like we're going to be disguising pressure everywhere. Sometimes we're going to bring it, sometimes we're not. And then the scheme that they're running when they drop in or out of the pressure is going to be similar to last year. So the guys aren't learning something new. They're adding a layer.
Oh, it ain't similar. It's the same thing. They calling him the godfather of it. They said he the one started this.
He's the professor. He's the professor of McDonald and Mitch. He's the guy.
This.
He's the guy. But hey, remember, we fell off. We fell off, though.
Yeah.
And other fan bases, they are dumb. They are dumb.
So this is going to give us an advantage early on. So I think when we talk about defense, man, I think our defense will be right around as good, if not better, than last year. And I think it starts with the D line. And I think that the fact that we've got probably the best corner in all of college football, and we've got. Here's the thing, right? I'm not even stretching as a Michigan homer when I talk about Colston Loveland being the best tight end in college football, and when I talk about Grant and Graham being the best defensive lineman in college football, and Will Johnson being the best corner in college football. Those are legit things. Those guys are at the top tier at their positions in all of college football. And if you look at our defensive line now, we lost to the NFL. We lost Braden McGregor. We lost Jalen Harrell. We lost Chris Jenkins. But if you look at when everything was on the line against Alabama on 4th and goal in overtime, if you look at what defensive line was on the field for that play, it was Derek Moore, Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, Josiah Stewart. So our starting defensive line this year was a defensive line on the field that made the biggest play in the biggest game. And even though we won the national championship, which was incredible, I still feel like the Alabama game was the national championship. Like, to me, like, winning that game, the way that we won that game,
one of the craziest games I've ever watched in my life.
To be honest, going to both of them, the Rose Bowl was way better.
Yeah. And then maybe it's because we.
The Natty is the Natty. Ain't nothing. We won, but I'm talking about like setting, game, like atmosphere, all of that. It wasn't. I ain't never been in nothing like the Rose Bowl in my life, man.
Yeah.
I agree. And I wasn't even there, but even watching it on TV, like, that felt like the national championship.
That was really something special. Like, I'm like, oh, I see why they call this the granddaddy, because it was like, bro, from the time we got on site of the Rose Bowl, it was just like something special. I'm just like, oh man, it ain't nothing like this, man. And sure enough, we happened to win, man. We won in dramatic fashion, and it just made it even more special. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, that was one.
The national championship, like I said, the national championship was cool, but it's like we ran through that. It wasn't. It seemed like that game was.
Yeah, it was already over at that point.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of quicker than the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl was like an all-game thing. The national championship was probably like 3/4 in my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, the Rose Bowl game, I went through like 3 tins of chew. Throwing it out there. I don't know if anyone
man,
cares.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. That was the most intense. I was sweating. I was yelling. It was great, man.
Game.
It was great.
Historic.
It was great.
Historic game.
Yeah, that was great. That was real great. I mean, if we could run on the field, I would have wished. That was the only thing that I wished I could have did, like a big upset and then run on the field out there, man. Because man, everything was perfect, man. It was perfect that day. Like for real. I was just talking to Travis about that, to be honest. Like, bro, we actually went to the Rose Bowl, bro, and he like, yeah, bro, he feel the same way. Like that was one of the best games we ever went to.
Yeah. That was one of the best games, one of the best football games that I ever watched, without a doubt. That game was so much fun, and I probably wouldn't feel this way if my heart got broke at the end of the game, but because we won. That game was an incredible game of football. That was so much fun. Old school. Absolutely. Jason, Sue wants you to give him hell. Sue, thanks for hopping on and listening.
It's gonna get crazier each pod, so love it.
Absolutely.
Oh, so yeah.
I got a lot of anger built up,
baby.
I got a lot of anger built up, and I like making fun of those types of fans too. So
when it comes to this season, guys, when it comes to what's on the schedule this year, what games are we most excited about? What are we most excited about with this year's schedule? Jason, you start us off. What are you looking forward to? What games are you the most excited about?
Week 1 and 2. Yeah. I'm just going to segue into the trap game. Week 1 is my trap game. It's got to be.
Ooh.
So Fresno State.
Ooh.
I know we're not going to, but as a fan, we cannot sleep on these guys. With that program, they are 5-6. 5-6. 5 of their last 6 losses with that 5-6 record is coming by 1 possession. So in those last 11 games, that was against Power 5 opponents. That's Fresno State football. So yeah, I get that their head coach left. They have an interim head coach, Tim Skipper. Like Fresno State's going to play aggressive. I mean, we could just talk BS all day. Like obviously, like they have nothing to play for. They're playing a night game at the Big House. We're defending a national championship. Like I get that, but this is a really good football program, and I know I'm jumping ahead here, but I mean that's my trap game for sure. Week 1, and I want to see. Because I think both QBs are going to play. I want to see Davis Warren, Alex Orji, because they're going to stack the box against us. I want to see how they're going to handle passing the ball consistently. And week 2, I said 2, obviously, because it's just a big game. It's a really big game. Talking Texas here. Duh. They were just in the college football playoff against Washington. So, horns down, baby. So, yes, that deciding factor, I want the best players on the field, but, they got 2 running backs out right now, which it is what it is, but it's still going to be a really big game. Still got they still got Ewers. They still got Manning if they're going to play him a little bit more this year as well, too. They still have a lot of talent on that Texas squad, and they're hurt. I mean, they're coming off with a big chip on their shoulder as well, too, us for other reasons, but I mean, week 1 and week 2 is going to say a lot about this football team. And Fresno State, you can't sleep on them. It's a good program. I just gave you the stats right there against power conferences. Those games, 5-6, 5-6, and they. I know it's Purdue. I mean, we smoked them and their crybaby plus coach, but they beat Purdue last year too. I'm guessing he said they stole their signs as well, but who knows? All he does is bitch and cry, but. I don't know. But yeah, those are, I think you guys wanted me to say Oregon. You probably, the stripe game or with USC, which I don't think USC will be that good. I still don't think they're going to have a defense, but you probably wanted me to say something else, but it's the first 2 weeks for sure that I'm looking forward to, that I'm most excited about.
Yeah, Dre, what about you? You'll be there. You'll be our man in the stands. Our man will have to play a game of Find Dre on TV every week.
For experience, for the experience purposes, I just want to go to. I love opening weekend. It's nothing like opening weekend. That's a tradition. So I'm ready just for that. But Fresno State, I think they're good, but I think with all their turmoil in their building, I don't think they're gonna be really tripping on. I'm not saying that they're gonna just like come lay down, because they're gonna come play. But I just think we got too many horses for them. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong. You never know. I didn't be wrong about a lot of things in life. Yeah,
Georgia Tech over Florida State.
Crazy. I don't follow Florida State. I don't know anything about it.
They lost. They lost week 0, bro.
No. See, I didn't even know that. You know what I'm saying?
I'll send you the highlights after this.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
Okay, because was Florida State supposed to be good?
They were ranked 10.
Yeah.
Oh.
Georgia Tech upset them in Dublin. So.
What was Georgia Tech? Was they ranked?
No. Not expected to be good.
But no, though. I don't fear them. I feel like that's a good trap game, but that's not my trap game. Texas is gonna be our first real test.
Is your trap game Ohio State, since we beat the shit out of them the last 3 years?
No, my trap game is actually Illinois. They always play us. They always play us super good. Like
we're in some old school unis too for that game.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And then we're at their house. So you know what I'm saying. That's my trap game. I was looking at that earlier. I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying, Illinois. So that's my trap game. But as far as the season, I think my only scare. I'm not even scared of Texas, man. I'm scared of Oregon, bro. That's what I'm really worried about, man. Or them Oregon boys ain't no joke, man. You know what I'm saying?
High-powered offense
my
for
prediction
sure,
real quick is me up.
They've not played like an actual.
I got
solid.
I got us playing them in the Big Ten. I got us playing them in the Big Ten championship. Oregon, us versus Oregon, Big Ten championship. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing, man. I think the great game, we're gonna beat USC, like you said. They're not ready yet, and I think after this year, Lincoln Riley, he's out of the door. I just don't see nothing else, man. My only concerns is Texas and Oregon, really, because Ohio State. Like I said, I think we're in their head. I just don't see it, man. That's why they went out and bought all of them people. And I still think
you get Caleb Downs. You get Caleb Downs, like hell of a player, but Bredeson's just going to put him on his backside again on his ass.
But see, and the thing about that, I think as soon as we beat him, I think he's gonna transfer again. I think when we beat them, he's gonna transfer again.
Well, here's the thing, right? I said this when we were talking with Justin Rowe, when Justin came on for our podcast. There's a difference between acquiring talent and building a team, right?
Exactly.
Ohio State went out and acquired a lot of talent.
They did. Talent.
Yeah. Did you see that Lane Kiffin's Twitter post or X post?
Yeah, loved it. Still gotta have culture, still gotta play physical, and they're not. They're not.
But I think as we look ahead into the season, I'm jacked for this season, and I've been. I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it, that I love Michigan football more than I love any other team, but in general, I like the NFL better than I like college football. And a big reason for that is in the NFL, on any given week, the worst team in the league can beat the best team in the league. On any given week. The games in the NFL, when it comes down to the fourth quarter, every single game is going to be within one or two possessions, right? And that's something that college football has lost over the years, where if you look through a schedule, you're going to see a ton of blowouts on that schedule and a couple of really good games, right? For the teams that are on it. And so, and the number of games every week out of all of the games that are played in college football, the number of games that are like must-watch games are minimal. Every single Sunday, the NFL, those games are all going to be good games because the league is so balanced. And I think that I was so excited last year when we found out what our schedule was going to be. And it looked a little bit worse last year than what it looks like right now, right? But when we knew that we were going to be playing Texas, USC, Washington, Oregon, and Ohio State, I mean, that's a gauntlet, but that's what I want college football to look like. I want that schedule where I'm locked in and my butt cheeks are on the edge of my couch for a half to 3/4 of the season, not where I would rather be excited about a 3-point win than what we run into sometimes where we're pissed off because we only won by 35, and we should have won by more.
You know what football games I like? When Michigan wins by 60. I can watch it all day. After the game, I'll watch the whole game after that. Next day, I'll watch the whole game after that. I want to see Michigan just blowing out teams. That's what I get excited about football.
But man,
I like close games.
I love close games, and I'm so excited for the gauntlet that we're going to go through with Texas and USC. It's still going to be tough because they're going to be an explosive offense, but I don't think they're ready for a defense like ours. And they don't play defense.
Aren't ready for specific defenses yet. They're just
Ohio State is super talented. They went out and bought a ton of talent. Oregon's probably looking at that schedule. Oregon's probably the best team on that schedule, the best team on our schedule.
Now let me ask you this though: Do we play Oregon first, or do Ohio State play Oregon first?
I can't remember. Ohio State play Oregon?
Yeah, they do. I think they play Oregon first.
We don't play Oregon until November 2nd. And that's the game I'm probably the most excited about. I know the Ohio State game at the end of the year is the game, and there's no pulling back the excitement of the game.
Ohio State is already talking that this is their new rival because, we cheated the last 3 years, so it didn't count. So that's their new rival. You guys I hope you guys don't wake up. For real. Ohio State. The Suck Guys play Oregon in Eugene, October 12th.
Yeah, so that's the thing, though.
I will be an Oregon fan that day.
So we've got Oregon at home.
No, hey, look, I was asking because I might go see that game. Look, I might go up in there with the Oregon shit on.
Hey, hit up Connor Stallions, man. He's probably got tickets for it.
Hey, y'all want to know something, bro? I'm about to see him, bro. I'm about to actually meet him. Yeah. Good. I'm about to he a football coach, and it's a team he playing. It's a team he playing that's around the corner from my house that I'm gonna go check out. I'm gonna see if I can get a picture and an autograph from him.
Yeah, invite him on the
podcast. Dude. Oh, dude.
I doubt if he does it, but I definitely will. I invite everybody. I don't care. Hey, you want to come on the pod? That's the first thing I ask. Hey,
yeah.
Hey,
love it.
But Dre, I'm with you though on the trap game. I think Illinois. This is weird because it's not like last year we had Maryland as like the clear trap game. This year we don't really have that. We have a handful of tough games, right? With Ohio State and Oregon and USC and Texas, but I think Illinois, just where it falls in the middle of our season, the middle of our schedule. We play them the week before Michigan State. We play them coming off of a bye week. For some reason, the past few years, coming off of a bye week is always a little bit rusty, and we go to their house, right? And we talked about this last year, but it's foolish to think that we're just going to steamroll everyone again, right? There's going to be some
even really like Indiana. We got games. At Indiana like third to last game of the year too. I mean, I feel like going to Bloomington's always kind of like
No, but they play us tough too, but
they do.
It's something about Illinois, man. It's something about Illinois, man. They always play us real good, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So as soon as I seen that, I said, damn. I said, we at Illinois. All right. And then how they put it at, just like you said, right after the bye, I'm like, all right. But
let's go. Let's talk bold predictions. Let's go with one bold prediction on the season. Jason, start us off. What's one bold prediction you have about the season?
Yeah, last year I kind of said, I'm just going to tweak it a little bit, but last year I said a 99-yard rushing touchdown from Kenneth Grant. Sharon Moore, just do it. I asked for Zach Zenter last year. I didn't get it as well too. Give me a Kenneth Grant touchdown. It doesn't have to be the full length of the field, like right at the goal line, like the fridge dude. Just let him run it in for one touchdown. Don't deny me. I know you're not listening, but maybe it'll get it out there. But Kenneth Grant rushing touchdown. That's my bold prediction.
All right, Dre,
and Will Johnson's going to have three picks a game. Go ahead, Dre.
Whoa.
He does for me in college football, the video game. He does for me.
Now, I got two of them too. I got one for offense, then one for defense. We can do it like that.
Yeah.
My one for offense is Alex Orji has a Lamar Jackson type season that he went when he won the Heisman. You know what I'm saying? That's my offensive one. My defensive one, Will Johnson becomes the second defensive player all time to win the Heisman.
All right. I love it.
I love that. I love the Will Johnson one too.
Yeah. Bold.
Like that.
Mine's not too far off from Jason's. I think we're gonna see a big guy score a touchdown this year. Maybe we put Kenneth Grant in the backfield and let him be the refrigerator on first and goal or second and goal, and he's just unstoppable. Yeah. Or when we go big and we bring in a couple extra offensive linemen, we go play action and hit an offensive lineman in the end zone. I think we see a big guy score. That's bold prediction A. Bold prediction B, I kind of touched on earlier. I think that Khalil Mullins becomes the most important, dependable player on our offense. I think that Donovan Edwards is going to be RB1. He's not going to lose that role, but when it's 3rd and 3 and we need that first down, I think Khalil Mullins is one that's in the game. When we're inside the 5-yard line, I think that it's Khalil Mullins that's the one that's in the game. I think that he becomes our most dependable big situation running back or foundational piece.
I agree. I mean, we didn't really see or know that much about him until at Columbus. Converted linebacker, and then he throws the ball to Colston Love. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Right? Am I right? You put him in one of the biggest games of the regular season.
I knew who he was because they was talking about him, like, you know what I'm saying, on the low. But I just ain't think he was gonna transfer that good to be, you know what I'm saying, that good to
that
be.
Game. Crazy.
But
absolutely.
Hey, I love it. I love it.
So overall predictions. Jason, you go first. What's your overall prediction for what Michigan's record is going to end up being this season? Regular season record, 12 games.
Non-biased football fan?
Biased or non-biased?
Non-biased football fan. I think we're going to go undefeated, and I think we're going to win our 4th straight Big Ten championship. And our defense is going to take us there again. Non-biased football.
Dre, what about you? What's your overall prediction on the season?
Hey man, you know I'm biased as shit. So
you are.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's okay.
You are.
I'm not. But
only one team.
I think we slip up one game this year, but we still win the Big Ten. And I don't know how we going. I don't know. It depends on what our seeding in the playoffs to see how overrun we make. So I don't know. I'll cross that road when we get there. But regular season, I think we take one loss.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Dre. I was thinking, probably lose at least one or probably lose one or two of the stretch where we play Texas, USC, Oregon, Ohio State. Right. I'm with you. I'm going 11-1. We still end up playing for the Big Ten championship. We still win the Big Ten championship. We still make the college football playoff. And I think
then we'll probably meet some of those teams again in the playoff as well too.
Yeah. So I think that one loss comes either against Texas in week 2 or against Oregon. I don't think it comes to USC.
That's why I was picking
Ohio State.
That's why I was
and
picking.
Even if I did think it was Ohio State, I can't convince myself that it'll come against Ohio State. I would never.
I'm leaning more towards Oregon for sure. I think Texas. I think we gonna kill. I think we gonna really surprise people when we beat Texas. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Texas has to come to the big house. They have to come to the big house, and I think that one of the advantages of is it Alex Orji, is it Davis Warren, is that we'll know in the second quarter what we have to put on tape. And I'll be interested to see against Fresno, are we putting on tape looks to make Texas prepare for stuff that's outside of the base offense and defense that we're actually going to bring to them, or are we keeping that stuff hidden so that they don't even have a chance to prepare for certain formations and certain looks?
Now let me ask you this though: do y'all think it's more pressure on us to beat them, or is it more pressure on them to beat us?
Them. Absolutely them.
I was thinking that too. I was thinking
You're
that
coming into the big house. We're on Fox noon game, but you're coming into the big house.
Everybody
lost to Washington the year before, and then I don't think Texas secondary again isn't going to be good with covering any passing. So if we are proving that we can pass the ball that game as well too, they're going to be in some deep shit for sure. So I think Texas still has position groups that need to be proven as well. Quite a bit.
Absolutely. And don't forget that, remember all the pressure that us Michigan fans felt for such a long time? Texas in the same boat. Texas in the same boat.
Even worse. Year, I feel like it's even worse for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that we're the defending champions, right? Everyone's got to beat us.
Hey, but Derek though, I'm gonna tell you this though. I might change my prediction. It just depends on how we beat. If we beat Texas and how we beat them, we might can get undefeated up out of there. You know, it just depends, man. I gotta see this Texas game. Not overlooking Fresno State at all. I swear to God, I'm not. But I just Texas is the biggest game in our first 3 weeks. So, I just want to see. Like, I want to see it. I want to see it. Everybody gonna be there. College game day. All of the, all the fixings. Everybody gonna be there. So, and y'all cross my fingers, man. Next week I get my Heisman signed by Desmond, man. Cross y'all fingers and pray for me, because I'm definitely going down there Friday to try to get. Hey, if I could, bro, and you could ship it here, I would definitely try to get it signed for you, bro, because I'm definitely going down there like I did last time. So,
just get an extra scrap paper, and then I'll just tape it to it.
I got you.
It's a massive.
All right, let's
right on it.
Let's finish up here. We posted earlier this week on the Facebook page. So we originally planned to do this podcast on Tuesday, where Jason and I live. We had some nasty storms come through on Tuesday, and I
had some too that same night.
Did that end up hitting you?
I did too.
So we ended up pushing it back, but we open. One of the things we're going to do this year with the podcast is every week we'll open up and take questions and topics from all of you to talk about. So I just went and pulled up a couple of the questions that you posted here, so we can answer. And the first one was, what would we do if we came face to face with Connor? So Dre, I'll let you start, because you're planning on coming face to face with Connor here in the.
It depends on it depends. Well, okay. when I'm about to, when I try to come face to face with him at his game, I'm gonna just ask him, you know what I'm saying, for a picture and autograph, obviously. But if we was like on a Michigan setting or like a football setting, I'd probably take a couple shots with him, a couple pictures. Like I don't got no problem with the guy, man. You know what I'm saying? He was like our mascot real quick. You know what I'm saying? And I don't got no problem with him, man. I get a man a hug and take a picture with him, man. Jason.
I mean, I'm indifferent. I mean, I think it's just he's getting a lot of hate just because of all the media attention that other teams wouldn't get. At the end of the day, he's a human being. So I don't know him personally, but I'd still shoot the shit with him. Maybe we talk about Baylor, how they got caught. Advanced scouting coaches were involved, and they were suspended for 1 game. But yet our rivals want us to vacate the last 3 seasons in a championship.
Yeah, I'd ask him if he wants to go get a beer. And
bro, me too, bro.
And get a beer with him, and then I'd ask him if he's got any tickets to Ohio State, Oregon.
He would have been there, or would have sent maybe one of his family members. I don't know. So
that's
it's
funny.
not illegal. We're fine. Everyone's just crying.
That's hilarious.
Someone else asked this next question. Jeff from the fan page. Is there actually any truth to what's being spread around the interwebs about wins being vacated and postseason bans, or is it just some Ohio State blowhard still not being able to let go? What do you guys think?
They're never going to let it go. It's right now. They don't know shit. They don't know anything right now. It's just a bunch of fake bullshit to get clicks.
I think in my eyes, I think we're gonna get if we get hit with something, the harshest we're gonna get hit is maybe a postseason ban and a fine or 2. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we're gonna have to vacate anything. But I could see
the NCAA
a big fine, and maybe a 1 or 2 year postseason ban.
I don't even see a postseason ban. I think that's too harsh because 2021.
That's what I'm saying. That's the harshest.
I mean,
that's the harshest.
I think the harshest for me isn't even going to be that though. Like, the NCAA said it themselves. Like, nothing with this rule would have an impact on winning games. People just try to justify L's because they're upset. So I get it. We got the human factor in there as well too. But I think what we might get is maybe rival fans can't read and they don't read full articles either. They just read headlines basically. But just the fact that we might get drawn more like 1 or 2 games or something like that. I think that's the max for us. Maybe, and probably a fine, obviously, probably that as well too. But this is just all I get it, but it's definitely a witch hunt. I'm not even saying that as a Michigan fan. Other people are going to say different, kind of agree with them. But this is a witch hunt. It's when Jim said a few years back that I want collegiate athletes to get paid from TV endorsements, TV deals, whatever. They were on his ass. This is absolutely.
Now let me ask you a question before we move on.
And real quick though, like the NCAA can't even share how they obtained this information because it was illegal of how they obtained the information. So now they're contradicting themselves. The NCAA, they know they're done. They're going to try to remain relevant and give us the maximum thing they can, but nothing's going to be vacated. We won fair and square. NCAA president even said it himself right after the Michigan-Washington national championship game. It's not going to be that hard. So the hammer or whatever, like, we don't care. Like, we could win a game fair and Ohio State won't recognize it. We don't give a shit. We're laughing at you guys. It's pathetic. Just shut up. Do you think
the punishment would be different if Jim was still here?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I think it would
they banned him for fucking like 4 years or whatever, dude. I mean, like, he's not even there.
Yeah.
He wants to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think there's any merit to any sort of vacated wins. I don't think there's any merit to a postseason ban. If the NCAA tried to get a postseason ban, I think that the college football playoff is still a separate entity And there's no way that the networks are going to try and leave a brand as big as Michigan
out of
it.
I mean, I forgot about that.
The NCAA would still send them the information. They would review it, but they're not even going to go that hard because they just can't.
Right.
They have a nothing right now, a nothing game, basically.
Right. There is still, so not to spoil anything, but to anyone that watched the documentary, you watch that documentary and you still see there is not a clear rule that was violated. Like this whole thing was for what? Like I mean, I'm sure that they've drummed up some violations, right? They gave us a notice of allegation, right? But if the NCAA goes and investigates any college football program unchecked and has the ability to go in and say, give me all of your cell phone records, give me all of your computer records, we're going to go look through anything, they're going to find something all the time because there are so many stupid ticky-tack dumb NCAA rules out there about what you can do and what you can't do that they're going to find something if they're looking for it. Or their rules are so vague that they're going to find something that they can create a rule for or apply it to, right? Jim Harbaugh got suspended by the Big Ten last year at the end of the season based off of the sportsmanship policy. Not because we have clear evidence that Jim Harbaugh broke a rule. It's because, hey, there's a lot of noise, and so we're going to suspend you.
He's on the damn plane.
Policy, right? While he's on the plane.
The NCAA is mostly really going to come down hard if it involves ineligible players. Correct. We just saw that with Kentucky as well, too. That's when they're really mostly going to come down hard. But these fans of like other teams that are like aren't reading between the lines or like even reading the full article of really what's coming out of what's truth or what's fiction, like they don't know shit. It's all based on what they want to happen to us and not really based on fact.
The reason why I said that is because of two things, right? Two things. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? We all know that was Connor on CMU sidelines. You know what I'm saying? Dave El Presidente, you know what I'm saying? He gave it up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He gave it up. Now, I don't know. Connor knew everything that was on that documentary before it came out. So I'm pretty sure he, you know what I'm saying? He allowed that part to be, you know what I'm saying, to come out unless they did that on their own and did, you know what I mean? But which I highly doubt. That part, I mean, I just was like, oh. And then the part when he was talking to the NCAA, when he said, yeah, people did send me stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's damning, bro. You know what I'm saying?
But that's not advanced in-person scouting, though. That is the thing. So
it's not illegal.
The rule is advanced in-person scouting by a staff member. That's whoever went to a game and sent him videos, even if he asked him to do it, that's not advanced in-person scouting by a staff member. That's
okay.
With the cell phone, which we could just replay and watch that game and find out anyways. And
what I'm saying, okay, so what I thought is if he sent anybody or he got any footage from anybody, it was okay. So it got to be like, I got to work from Michigan to, you know what I'm saying, go record that and send that to him. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
The rule is extremely gray. It's extremely gray. Okay. The NCAA is contradicting about it as well, too, from what their statements were on it 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
Which is why, like,
I get it.
Enforcing that rule wouldn't hold up in a court of law, I don't think. I'm not a lawyer. No. I have a zero law background, but I don't think that would hold up legally. However, the NCAA isn't a court of law, so they can do whatever they want to. But if they try and enforce something too harsh, if you watch that documentary, you saw that the lawyer that Connor Stalions hired, he's ready to go after the NCAA.
Yes, because I think how this information was one of their first questions. Like, if they go through court, I don't think the NCAA is going to want to do it because they're going to have to release how they obtain the information. And I guarantee it was illegal, and they're not going to want to do it because they're going to be contradicting themselves. And whether it's information, I get it. Information's information. They can do whatever.
I hope they do got to go to court. So we can see who hired I swear. I swear.
Don't think they're going to want to cross that. I don't think the NCAA is going to want to cross that bridge because they're going to have to release some information probably that they're not too keen on. So they're going to try to do the max as possible, but I think they're going to be like lenient with what they can do and what they probably don't want to get into.
I think they're going to. I hope Connor takes their ass to the.
I hope he does too. I hope he does too because other teams are doing it. Like
all that.
We have all these fans assuming what Michigan did, but there's the other outside factor of like what other teams are also doing.
No, I ain't worried about none of that. I'm worried about who hired who and who hacked the computer. And I bet you it came from somebody from Ohio
State.
And that's what I want to see.
Yeah, Ohio State fans, they still think the FBI came to Ann Arbor to investigate sign stealing and like computers and all that shit. You guys are so freaking dumb. I can't even take it. You will believe anything you can. And that's why I love making fun of you guys. And that whole entire fan base is just a joke. I don't know if it's inbreeding in Ohio. I'm sure it is. But the fact is, like, the FBI was there to investigate a hacker for U of M systems, the school systems. It has nothing to do with football, you morons. Nothing to do with football. Like, dude.
I just want to know.
It's just annoying.
How
dumb they are.
And I just want to know, like, who hired the law firm, bro? Just tell us who hired the law firm, man.
Ryan Day, because Ryan Day talks, it's justifying his losses every time he takes an L. I mean, for Christ's sakes, like, we're talking about Sherrone Moore crying like a man because he cares about Michigan football and that program after the Penn State game. But then you have Ryan Day threatening a 98-year-old guy like Lou Holtz. Like, what the hell, dude? Who's crying?
Shout out my boy Lou.
Who's?
Shout out my boy Lou, man. Shout out my boy Lou.
We gotta get the Ohio State pod, guys. I wish they were.
We gotta get them on here.
I do love Greg and Chris. I love those guys, but we gotta talk.
Awesome.
Well,
those were the questions. The questions that we got. So we'll keep doing that. We'll keep opening up segments where you give us topics and questions. But
thank you guys.
You know, we're hitting time here. So hey, 2024 football season, defending national champs. It starts now. So I'm jacked for the season. I'm jacked to get back to doing weekly podcasts here, to start previewing games, maybe connect with some other podcasts occasionally and pull them on. Start bringing some guests back on and talking football and everything. So one last thing, we've got some VN gear here. We did officially launch the apparel store, shopthevictorsnation.com. Go there right now. We just got a first edition, a handful of different white t-shirts, sweatshirts with the VN logo, but I'll tell you that the VN logo on white is sharp, but more to come, more designs, more apparel, but get your VN gear for football season. Go to shopthevictorsnation.com, order it. It'll get shipped directly to you, printed on demand.
Order in bulk, people. We got Christmas coming up.
Please.
On that note,
please,
we'll give you a blue and Dre, you want to sign us off?
Love one another, respect one another, and always go blue.
Go blue, baby.